I'm going to connect this rock trail to this rock trail. We can go down this dirt road to connect to this rock trail. And basically, like, starting on, like, the south end of Moab and, like, going all the way north, almost back to I-70, which would be an hour on the highway. And I, like, snaked it all the way through the desert and, like, Canyonlands National Park and all this stuff. And then I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. Well, that's that's like a week-long overlanding trip.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back.
Wow. Episode 93 of your favorite podcast, of the Dirt Drive podcast. We are not spinning the wheel of Dirt Nerd because...
Well, you can't make the noise.
No, I know. But the only one we're missing today is PJ because he's busy becoming an EMT.
Yay. It's about as excited as PJ is. That was my impression of PJ being excited to be an EMT.
And miss because he was so disappointed. We're recording 3 episodes today. I had to replace 2 of them because I really wanted PJ to sit in on them.
Yeah, we can't not have PJ for Double Tunned Up on a Tuesday.
Double Tunned Up on a Tuesday and the movies episode.
I was going to say, those
are like prime PJ episodes.
Honestly, spoiler alert, the movie episode, you could just put him and PJ together with microphones and just let them go for 5 hours.
And it's just going to be me and you sitting there and nodding. We should also introduce ourselves. I'm Tim.
Nope.
Tom.
No, that's the whole point of this episode.
Everybody knows who we are now. I mean, come on.
No, the whole point of this episode is, Trevor, introduce yourself.
That's
Hi.
Trevor.
That's Trevor. So
I'm pointing at Trevor.
Yeah.
We are 93.
For all of our YouTube viewers who can totally see us right now.
Use your imaginations.
We get more views
Imagine
on
us
YouTube.
much more attractive than we actually are, please.
Just bearded
We're like
fat
Greek
dudes.
gods.
Bearded fat dudes in their pajamas on my couch with the dog.
Watching a baby monitor.
You're watching the baby monitor.
You know, I was referencing that this morning because Brittany's going to an all-you-can-eat brunch place for someone's birthday.
Nice.
And she was like, you always end up spending more money, but I feel like this place is kind of worth it. It's only like $32. And I'm like, no, honey. They're accounting for people like you
who are going to eat $7
like,
worth of food.
An entree, which for them maybe $12. I was like, they're not accounting. They don't like the Dirt Nerds because we eat like 5 entrees and then they try and kick us out.
We walk in somewhere and people get nervous.
Yeah. The Wrecking Crew.
The Wrecking Crew. Does it have bottomless mimosas at least?
99-cent mimosas because
I am not taking my pants off.
In the state, it is illegal to have bottomless drinks.
Illegal.
I'm not taking my pants off in public.
What does that have to do with absolutely anything?
Bottomless.
Yeah.
Oh. No, the drink's bottomless, you fucking idiot.
Off to a hot start this morning.
So welcome to the Dirt Drive podcast.
That whole exchange pretty much sums up everything you need to know. It's been a great episode.
It has been.
See you next time.
So you've heard about the episodes that we were going to do that we're not going to do this week.
They'll be out eventually.
6
months from now.
6 months.
It's Inception.
Those 2 ideas have been on my ideas list for a very long time.
That's not future past. That's actually future.
That's actually future.
And this isn't future past either because this episode comes out on Tuesday
in 48 hours.
Pretty much the 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes out Tuesday the 5th and we're recording Sunday the 3rd.
Yes, that would be 5 minus
That's
2.
behind the media. But the point of this episode is we have a lot of new listeners over the last 93 episodes. And instead of suggesting you go back to listen to old episodes, because we just looked, I think like episode 38 was like when we started.
It's also a lot of scrolling.
Yeah. We're just going to introduce ourselves again.
Yeah.
Kind of tell our story, tell how we got here. And
I would also say, I honestly don't even remember what we talked about in that first episode, but I would imagine things have evolved a little bit since then.
Yeah,
I remember Legos.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Oh, so it was more of like an origin story than it was like a about us type thing.
Kinda, yeah. It was like
but
the
origin
how did
stories,
we get into cars, and we all kind of
individual
were
origin stories.
We had Legos.
Yeah,
like,
I think we did individual origin stories.
Villain origin
probably
stories.
I feel like that was probably one of the early ones.
I was born on the evening
when a man loves a woman.
Mommy and Daddy love each other very much.
We are the Dirt Nerds. We are sometimes. Individually, no. Actually, yeah,
boys off road.
Yeah,
Nerds,
it really depends on what we're talking about, but
the boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town.
I mean, the short version is we all went wheeling, we all became friends, we started building Jeeps together, and here we are.
Yeah.
I would say
it's such a unique story that you really, really hold on to it, no matter where you go.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But no, I think Dirt Nerds Off Road, the Dirt Drive, all of it is. We've had this discussion before where like we're not really a lifestyle, but we are. We just don't want to be considered a lifestyle because like we shouldn't be promoting this lifestyle to people. Like we've already sucked our friends and family into it and ruined everybody's lives. And but to that point, like
just a bunch of dudes shitting around in the woods.
Yeah, like we love.
I mean, that's overlanding, but yes.
Yeah, that's overland and rock crawling.
Honestly, the only difference between rock crawling and overlanding is
the gear.
I was gonna say
you end up at a different place.
The distance.
Yeah.
Overlanding, you can go a lot further, and you end up in multiple campsites. Where rock crawling, you just go in circles and
sometimes
shorter distance. Yeah, you don't even make it through that, and you just camp in the same spot every night.
Yeah.
No, we're just a group of dudes who like.
That was my stomach.
Four-wheeling and Jeeps and trucks and honestly just cars in general.
Yeah, anything with
motors and wheels.
Doesn't matter how many wheels and how many motors.
We just happen to.
If it's more than one motors and more than four wheels, we're definitely interested.
Oh yeah,
V8 versus inline six.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's all about that inline six life.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hashtag 4-liter. But no, I mean that's how like the three of us all became friends, and really the motivation behind the podcast is we just like promoting the hobby and the sport and having fun with it and getting out in the woods. For some reason,
people told us they liked listening to our conversations.
Yeah, I still can't figure that one out.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't been drunk doing this in a while, so there's
that's episode 100, dude. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah,
we're getting fucked up.
Yeah, the problem is we keep doing these morning podcasts, so it's hard.
It's hard to do
Irish
evening
coffees.
podcasts.
Yeah, I'm home alone with the child.
It'll be fine.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right. But
you said it yesterday.
It builds character.
Crackheads can keep babies alive.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So a responsible dad with a few drinks, I think you'd be all right.
Although I am technically out of whiskey right now. So
what?
Wow.
Well, hold on. So
there's Maker's Mark on the shelf right there.
Oh yeah, I guess there's some of the makers. Well, this is the Catoctin Creek bottle is the one that we bottled at that first bottling workshop as a group.
What's that Angel's Envy up there?
That's the gift from my dad for Tommy being born.
Okay.
So that's probably gonna be like a first birthday open, which is the
Down
summer.
for that?
But yeah,
Tommy will love that.
I think personally, and you guys can vote on it. I think we probably should start thinking about opening that Catoctin Creek bottle that we bottled many years ago.
Episode 100.
Oh,
it's a good one.
Get the whole.
Yeah.
We should just do a completely unhinged shit show. Get Quist and Tom up here,
like we did at Kayla's,
and just sit in my basement, drink an entire bottle of whiskey together,
and eat a whole keto pizza.
We can skip that part. Dieting's over.
Just relive AOAA.
Oh God. But yeah, I mean, it's getting somewhat back on topic.
Nope.
I don't know. We're like, I think the factor if you've made it this far into the episode and you're wondering who
this far, we're like 5 minutes into the episode.
Exactly. Yeah. If you haven't shut it off already, we do kind of know what we're talking about
most of the time
to an extent.
So let's go back and kind of. Because this is for people who don't know us.
Right.
So let's go back and start at the beginning.
Made it this far in the episode.
So we are Northern Virginia boys.
We're the three best friends that anyone can have. We're the three best.
Trevor and I are Northern Virginia boys. Tom is an implant.
Yeah, well, I mean, that doesn't really have anything to do with what DirtNerds is.
Jersey.
From Jersey, and that's where Jersey Auto Work comes from.
So to that point, right, like we have DirtNerds Off-Road, but parallel to that is...
You're not letting me tell the story.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing what you do. I'm interrupting you constantly.
I'm trying not to interrupt this episode. Am I doing a good job?
No.
God damn it.
If you listen to past episodes, if you're not new here, you'll know Tim likes to interrupt everybody.
Even when he's sober.
I'm the Bert Kreischer of
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Only you're not nearly as funny.
I hear your story, but let me tell my story.
Yeah. Parallel to Dirt Nerds Off-Road is Dirt Nerds Motors, which is the shop that I own and run. Trevor works there. Tim technically sometimes works there. He's there enough that he should be working, but he's lazy. So yeah, I mean, like we, Rusty, excuse any dog noises you may hear on this episode. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Okay.
Oh my god!
So we all got together or at least Trevor, myself, and Tom Walk got together in 2017. We met at an off-roading event out in Gore, where we kind of became fast friends. We didn't have any other friends to wheel with, so we made each other as friends. I guess you had Woody.
I was there with Woody, but yeah, it was like Woody had said that from the get-go. He was like, just go talk to people. Like, you're going to meet a ton of people. So it's just like, okay. And then Max was just, Tom Walk's dog, was just traipsing through lineup, just doing what
dog
he does.
Things.
And it was just like, oh, shit, big puppy. I'm going to go cuddle with it. And then all of a sudden, here comes Tom Walk like, my dog. Because he just lets Max do whatever. And then, lo and behold, we were all in the same line that day. And you were supposed to leave, as was Tom Walk.
Yeah.
And then you called your boss and told him
I didn't want to go to work.
Weren't going to come into work the next day. And Tom Walk just said, screw it, I'll get coverage. And we wheeled the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so much fun. But that's where we originally met, and we built Tom Walk's Jeep in my driveway.
Yep.
Yeah.
I met my lift in your driveway too.
I thought we did your lift here.
No, yeah, we did your lift here.
Yeah, because you almost got shot. No, you drove.
That was my doors. That was to get my doors on and off. And we were running the CB radio.
I feel like we did the lift here.
I feel like we did the lift.
We did it in your driveway.
But then I met Tom Sylvester at the firehouse.
Sure.
You were a BMW hot boy.
But I also had a Jeep at that point. I had a Grand Cherokee.
You had your Grand Cherokee. That's right.
Yeah, I've had the problem of owning multiple cars at a time.
Because that was the beat up E30 that you had, where they had all the hail and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
I had some hail damage. That was the worst part about that is that was one of the nicer ones I've owned over the years.
The hail damaged ones.
It wasn't rusty, and I redid that entire interior. That interior was
the interior was nice, but the wipers didn't work.
Yeah,
right.
That's you just don't drive it on rainy days.
Yeah, it's
that literally was.
Yeah, it was rear wheel drive with sport tires. It was basically racing slicks.
Fast boy tune.
No, it was 1988. It had similar to the Jeeps. It had 140 horsepower when it was new in '88.
Hell yeah!
But the car only weighed 2,600 pounds. I think the E30s are they're little tiny go karts.
But yeah, then Tom quickly got wrapped into the group.
Yeah.
After we started working on Jeeps at his house.
You're just using me for my skills.
That's exactly what it was.
And the driveway.
Yeah, in the driveway.
Well, in the garage.
The space.
That spiraled quickly into big dogs did a huge thing for us.
Yeah,
is we met a bunch of people. You met all your first customers came from there. To the point where you were working so hard at home that you quit your day job.
Yeah, started the shop. Shop's going on 4 years now. We're getting ready to move into a bigger space and have all kinds of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, the premier Jeep shop of Northern Virginia,
something like that. It's not Jeep shop. We're the premier off-road shop.
Off-road shop,
right?
Because we do everything.
Because Jeeps are garbage.
Yes.
Yeah,
kill all Jeeps. Who did we gave a kill all Jeep sticker to somebody?
The Porsche guy.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the Porsche. Yeah, he was loving that.
He's like, I can't. It's gonna make so many people mad. I'm like,
that's the point.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with him now.
Yeah.
Or he was. For
I want a
36-hour period.
That's
today's flavor is flat fenders.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, we had a great conversation.
Yeah. Actually, I guess it was also yesterday's flavor. Watched some 4x Fred Williams YouTube, and he's got 2 hours of flat fender content out right now, and it's just
fantastic.
So good, so good. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we don't like this stuff at all. You can tell.
The group growing led to us people thinking we were some sort of Jeep club, and we were like,
absolutely not a Jeep club.
We're like, no, and I don't know. I have this. I always have this internal debate because I do think car clubs have a Oh my god, this dog.
My dog does the exact same. Lays on top of the couch.
Yeah.
It's like there's plenty of good cushion right there. Why do you need to lay on top of the sofa?
It's because his blanket's in his way and he's upset about it.
Well,
see?
there you go.
There you go.
Oh, good
Do I know
boy.
my dog or do I know my dog?
Oh, good boy.
You're a good boy. You want to say hi?
He said
No.
no.
He's like, I'm out.
Fuck that.
Just wait for the Amazon guy to pull in the drive. He'll be very vocal. The ADD is strong today.
You were talking about your dog.
Oh man,
We didn't want to be a Jeep club.
Oh,
did-
right.
yeah,
we didn't
we
want to
didn't
be a Jeep club because, like, I do truly believe that car clubs as a whole have a important place in car culture.
Oh, definitely.
I think, and this may just be my view on it, probably due to being a volunteer firefighter forever, is the politics within any club, regardless of make, model, cars, hunting, whatever it is.
Anytime you have bylaws of any kind.
Yeah, and I mean, I that's just the natural progression of what it is, and like to me, that takes out a lot of the fun of what I like about the car culture, which is the inclusivity of it.
Everyone sharing all their knowledge across all spectrums.
Which I do think we're starting to have a bigger problem with that in the off-road world, but that can be another episode where I rant about that. But yeah, that's where we came up with the name Dirt Nerds, because we were like, we really should have a name for ourselves.
Yeah,
and
because people kept asking us.
Yeah.
What's your group?
Yeah,
What's your group?
Dirt nerds. We're not an off-road club. We're just dudes that like to have fun.
like, and
We just like to play in the dirt.
And I think, I mean, at the peak of that, like when we had the time and we were going to what 5-6 big dogs a year.
Yeah, we were going to almost.
Like we were
every
wheeling,
single-
we were wheeling every other month.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was a
I
lot
think
of wheeling.
there was a point where like we had like 30 people in camp with us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like, and it
people
was
traveling from out of state.
but it was one of those things where it was like, oh, like, yeah, I met you guys. Like we'd see him on Facebook. Like, oh, I've never been to Big Dogs. Is it worth? Come hang out. Come camp with us. Add him to the group chat. Next thing you know, like we're 30 people deep. Trevor's basically catering in the woods at that point by himself.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it wasn't even. It's not even cooking for 30. It was just full blown catering.
Yeah. Fucking 4 tables set.
Yeah,
up.
4 tables. We had the whole kitchen. Like it was like literally truckloads of coolers and ice to get through 4 days at the Cove and feed that many people.
Yeah.
And there were still people that would come over from other campsites and go, "Oh, that looks really good. Can I have some of that?"
And like,
$5. All right.
yeah.
as
Pay it in.
as stressful and not fun as some of that stuff was, like I always look at it as like that really helped us develop what we wanted to do.
Yeah. Which I think we're still working on figuring out what we want to do. But we're getting closer.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously always changing, right? Like Trevor and I just had babies, so like that slows us down. We're building.
It slows you down.
Yeah.
I promise.
You probably. What do you know?
Some of us have finally caught up to the build side of things, where like you went deep into credit card debt and built your Jeep pretty quickly, while the rest of us kept shit boxes.
Yeah.
Or stock dailies, essentially.
Finally had a credit card that though. I'm over 700 credit score. I'm so
Wow!
There you go.
Congratulations for being an adult.
Yay! That was my goal for 2023 was debt free
Good job,
23.
buddy.
So now I
Good
just
job.
have big debt, no little debt.
That's good. There's good
Yeah.
debt and bad debt. Credit cards are usually bad debt. Anyway, but yeah, so like now like the builds are getting there. We're realizing we like the harder, more technical stuff, which means less trips per year, you know, and kind of blending in the overlanding and doing a little bit of both, which means multiple vehicles, and
Yeah, I'm
that just
kind
means
of
more expensive.
ramping up the overlanding. My rock crawler is dying in my driveway.
That's
which
'cause you're a bum.
I've decided
Yeah, you're
that
you're
at some
neglecting
point this year I'm going to do a resurrection video. Do like, hey, I'm going to get this.
Weren't
Jeep
you
running
selling
again.
it like 2 months ago?
It's still no.
You shut your mouth.
It's still for sale.
No, it's not.
If someone wants to buy it,
No,
more than welcome.
wrong.
If you're listening to this podcast, you're not allowed to buy the Jeep.
Oof, I would
You're only
suggest
allowed
you buy
to
the
troll
Jeep.
Tim by offering him $5.
Yeah. Troll Tim all you want on Facebook Marketplace, because we know he loves
Listen, the
that.
first person to troll me with a $5 offer through the ad, I'll send you a sticker pack.
There you go.
Okay.
Not you, motherfucker. And also, Freddie, not you either.
Not you either, Abe.
Yeah.
Or any of our other friends that we know listen to the podcast. No, I mean it's been a fun journey. We've got to meet cool people, do cool things. We're planning this Moab trip. Like these are all things that I don't think we'd ever would have gotten into without the podcast.
These green dick mics.
Yeah, the green fuzzy dicks. As you can also tell if you've, again, made it this far in the podcast, this is not a family-friendly podcast. No.
What are you talking about?
We have zero self-control.
Kids got to learn at some point.
I don't know. The grand scheme of things, we're pretty family-friendly.
Oh, agreed. Like, our content is, but...
We're like just responsible young adults doing responsible young adult things.
With no filter.
With no filter, but we preach cleaning up the trail and like and preserving our community.
That's just good four-wheeling etiquette.
Just called it ethics.
Yeah.
Just because we curse a lot doesn't mean we're not assholes. But yeah, I feel like the group has kind of gone from being just that, where it's just a bunch of us hanging out in the woods, to like actually trying to grow and do something a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not saying we're going to change the world by any means.
No,
we're just
not with that attitude.
Just maybe impact the East Coast a little bit and get some love back.
Yeah,
after last week's episode, which was West Virginia Motorsports Day, I got a lot of messages from people saying, "Hell yeah, love the support on the East Coast. Like keep pushing, keep doing the Lord's work."
It's funny because I've been poring over Onyx for the last week for the Moab trip, and it's so frustrating to like every time I open Onyx, it defaults to your current location, and I gotta scroll all the way across the country. And as you go west,
as soon as you
all these highlighted trails,
as soon as you
just start to
lights up the screen,
and it's like, and like I think the part that kills me is like, it's not like they're not out there; they're just not being mapped on these programs.
Yeah.
You have to go out and explore and find them, and that's so intimidating for people.
Well, like I'm planning this trip for March, a small group trip that we're doing, and trying to find a route in the Canaan Valley area that's like new, like because we hit a bunch of the trails,
right?
But like it's so straight. There's not a lot.
Right.
I mean, compared to out west where it'd be in that 100 square miles, you could do everything.
So to that point, I was mapping our like single overnight Moab route, and I accidentally mapped like 180 miles connecting things. Because like
it's not too bad though.
Well, yeah, I was just zoomed out. No.
It's 100. How many? In 180 miles for a day or 2 days?
For 2 days, but like
it's not too bad.
Of like
hard rock trails.
Of like rock trails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of road, but it was like, I'm going to connect this rock trail to this rock trail. We can go down this dirt road to connect to this rock trail, and basically like starting on like the south end of Moab and like going all the way north, almost back to I-70, which would be an hour on the highway, and I like snaked it all the way through the desert and like Canyonlands National Park and all this stuff. And then I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. Well, that's that's like a week-long overlanding trip.
We could always do that and see where we end up the first night and just backtrack the second day. But backtracking is never fun.
I adjusted it to like, because like
so it's like 25 miles one day and 25 miles the next day.
Less. So like the first one is Poison Spider, Mesa,
like 12 miles or something.
Gold Bar Rim, like Rusty Nail, like that complex, which is like 18 miles, but it's listed as a 7 to 10 hour trip because it's just rock ledge after rock ledge after waterfall after shelf road. Like it's tons of obstacles. So that'll take us to the campsite that I found. Shout out Brandon from F-Bomb Overlanders.
Oh, he sent you
he sent me some coordinates from a Patreon group that like had a Moab trip that apparently like, and looking at the 3D view on Onyx, it's pretty epic, but
it's literally tagged epic campsite.
Well, that's why I called it.
I've got a few of those. And
then day 2 will be
obviously
will be more overlandy.
Yeah,
figure we'll hit it hard.
Camp, break our shit day 1.
Yeah, and then we have a night in camp to fix it. Or the nice thing is if it does go south and we don't want to camp, like there's a bailout back to the highway, so we can cut the camping out if we wanted to. But
we won't want to. That's the best part.
I feel like this is a whole nother episode we're spiraling into.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's go. Any other? I guess you guys probably know us pretty well. Any other questions you have for us? Where we came from? How it started? Shoot us a message. I have one question. So then I posted last night about questions. Okay. So I was going to be the second half of this episode.
Yeah.
We're not answering Freddie's question.
What was Freddie's question?
how to fit 35s on a Jeep and how much lift do you need?
No, that was Abe.
Was that Abe?
Sawzall.
Cut all the things.
Then my dumbass completely ignored the fact he said Jeep, and I'm like, well, on the X Runner. Whatever.
I mean, 35s on a new Jeep is bolt-on, so
yeah, pretty much.
where that joke's gonna have to become, how do we fit 37s without a lift?
Yeah.
So before we transfer to the next topic, to all of our listeners out there, if you're listening, please like, rate, and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. We're just trying to grow the East Coast.
Yeah, we're just trying to grow the East Coast. If you leave a review, please do leave a review.
Yeah.
On Spotify, you can leave stars.
Yep.
Only 5 stars.
Apple Podcasts, you can leave like an actual review. Screenshot us the review, and I will send you a sticker pack. So write yourself a review, screenshot it, and send it to me. I'll send you a sticker pack.
Yep.
That helps us get out there a little bit. I'm stealing that from Wheel and Wine and Whiskey because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But that helps us grow. That helps get us our name out there. Also, please go to YouTube, like and subscribe. So the only thing on YouTube right now is the podcast.
Yep.
And there's no
hopefully more stuff coming.
Yeah, there's no video associated with it. It's just a still image.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But if you like and subscribe on YouTube, it helps us grow there too, and helps us get out to more people, which gives us opportunity to do more stuff and bring you more good content.
Yep.
So do that.
Join the mission. Let's bring all the fun overlanding and off-roading and rock crawling and racing and whatever else we can to the East Coast, because I mean we see it at the shop. There's thousands of people here that have some mild interest in it, so there's no reason to not try and blow it up here. Like instead of hiding, I don't know. We need a fun tagline like Dirt Nerds Nation or something. I don't know. It's not
Dirt Nerds Nation.
That's actually
bringing off-roading to the East Coast.
We have a Twitter page. Mm-hmm. Wow, look at us. Isn't it X now?
It's mostly porn.
It's an X now.
It's X. Yeah.
But yeah.
Changing the name from Twitter to X is so much raunchier than it needs to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What a pop.
And that's also what the original YouTube page was called too.
Papa
Dirt
Elon.
Nerd Nation.
Oh, and then head to Facebook and join our forum.
Yes.
There's thanks to Jed. There's now a group chat on our forum that anybody can participate in.
Is anybody participating in it?
Yeah, it gets some.
Yeah, the one guy who was like, I don't participate.
I'm not going to join it. I'm going to join it just because I can.
Answers every question.
Good. It's about fucking time.
So yeah, join us there, hang out, join the conversation, send us messages, and ask us questions.
Do it.
And yeah, that's the fun stuff. Let's get to more fun stuff.
Is he alive?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so we have
Just
questions.
kidding, Carrie.
How do I get to that?
He does sleep like a chalk outline.
Yeah, so does my kid. Yep.
There it is.
Mine does the same thing. He was doing it this morning.
All right. Activity. Can I not view the activity on... Okay, I'm going to look at that on my phone. So, questions.
Like I said, episode 93, we're still working on the professionalism side.
What are you talking about?
Listen.
We've got it all figured out.
Yeah, something like
All
that.
figured out. So I asked the question. I said, what comments do you have for the guys? Questions or comments do you have for the guys? Abe Wine, you're an asshole.
What did he ask?
How much lift do I need 35 to fit on my Jeep?
Come on now, Abe.
Nick Ryan, you asked it on the page, like the actual Facebook page. This is a tough one. And I've mentioned this to you guys before too, is lighting and auxiliary wiring. It's really hard to, that could be a whole episode, but it's really hard to get into.
That's not really a question.
What's the question?
So lighting and auxiliary wiring gauges requirements in different amperages for systems. I've seen this done really poorly. I've never heard anybody talk about it on a podcast. I would say that when it comes to wiring, it's a tough one in depth. That's like a full hour-long YouTube video.
Yeah. I mean, the easy one is red to red, black to black. Like
no, it's not, because if you get some of this Chinesium stuff,
it's white to red, black to black, or black to red. Yeah. But
assuming you're starting from fresh and you're not dealing with
I think the easy way to break it down from an audio standpoint, maybe this is a video we do. Maybe we actually do like a little 15-minute video on some of these basics.
Not with Tom Walk.
Yeah, definitely not with Tom Walk.
I think that'd be a good video.
The best way I can describe things to people and this is how I learned it in Votech in high school years and years and years ago. It's like water flow. Think of electricity flow as water flow. If you have if the house is on fire and all you have is a garden hose, the house is going to burn down. If you're trying to power a big light bar through a tiny 18 gauge wire, you're going to burn down the Jeep. Like you need more water to accomplish what you're trying to do. You need more electricity. You need the bigger pipe. Without getting into the nitty gritty and the math side of it and everything else.
Cause it's what volts is volume, amperage is pressure, ohms is resistance.
No. Volts would be pressure. So voltage is voltage is how
I know ohms is resistance.
Yeah, ohms is resistance. Voltage is how fast the electricity is moving.
Yeah.
Amperage is the amount of electricity moving.
Yeah.
So you like in the automotive world, it's 12 volts.
Yep.
Right. Like you're that is the standard.
Yep.
That's what's coming out of your battery. That is how fast your electricity is moving through the wire. The amperage is not so much forced as it is pulled.
Yep.
It's the appliance is going to demand a certain amount of amperage.
Yep.
If you demand more amperage than the system can allow, you're going to have performance issues. Or
a lot of heat buildup.
Because all things have resistance. So the smaller the wire is, the higher the resistance.
Yep.
The more heat gets, the more amperage that flows through a higher resistance wire, whatever you want to call it, is going to create the heat, which is where things melt, short to ground, and then explode.
Yeah, I think to get more in depth than that is a very in depth. I think it would be bad for audio.
Yeah.
You
need the visuals with it.
You need a dry erase board.
The best advice.
Someone really smart.
The best advice I can give to somebody who's wants to learn it and DIY it is there are tons and tons of prefabbed harnesses available online, whether it's Amazon Nylite stuff or getting it directly from a place like Diode Dynamics. Like if you look at those sites, they will just match the specs on things. If you have a light bar, look at what that light bar demands. Does it take 12, 15 amps to run or whatever it is, and then match your circuit to that. You always want to go a little bit higher. So if you have like call it a 15 amp LED light bar, you're going to want like a 20 amp circuit because there's always going to be a surge when you first turn things on, or sometimes it may flicker in demand or whatever. As heat grows, things are going to fluctuate a little bit. So if you find a 20 amp circuit, you're going to have probably a 40 amp relay involved in that, and probably call it 12 gauge wire is going to be your standard.
Also, it gives you a little bit of room to add on in the future if you want to add like another small light on that circuit.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but like I said, the advice is don't make the circuit yourself unless you know what what the math is.
I built a full fuse box. Like they have the really cheap, like on Amazon you can buy the builder fuse box, but I installed multiple pre-built systems before I did that. So I had a basic understanding of how it works, and my Cherokee still hasn't burnt down yet.
Yeah, it really is not overly complicated. Yeah, it's really not overly complicated. I think the threat of fire scares people,
and it should,
and it absolutely should. I'm not saying
don't be afraid of fire,
but it's also the information's pretty simple. And I do like the idea of maybe doing maybe that'd be a good little video content.
Yeah. Get a whiteboard and
we could just.
I don't need a whiteboard. There's a great little cartoon on the internet where they show the amps pulling a belt and ohms sitting behind the voltage trying to push it through the tube.
By the way, the ohms is the belt.
Oh, the ohms is the belt.
It's restricting the tube, and then amperage.
This just goes to prove we don't know what we're talking about.
No, Trevor doesn't know what he's talking about.
Kelly asked a good question. Kelly Latornu.
Oh, yeah.
It's a super. I like this question because I actually just made this decision. Said the high lift jack or a bottle jack. I just made this change. He also called it the 16-1 super tool, or is it a cold blood killer? I think it's a cold blood killer. farm jacks, I don't carry one anymore. I went to a bottle jack.
Yeah, I think
takes up less space.
I think
it's not lighter; it's the same weight, but it takes up the same space. With the high lift jack, you have to worry about if you're lifting a vehicle. You have to worry about decompression of your spring. So if you're trying to take a tire off, you got to compensate for all of your.
If you have long travel, you have problems.
So now you have to rig up a sketchy ratchet strap or something else.
Yeah, I think the learning curve on the high lift farm jack super tool, whatever you want to call it, is significantly steeper.
Yeah.
I do think, like we've probably beat to death in most things, it's a use case study where, for me in rock crawling, that high lift is more useful. Like, you could use it as a come along.
Yeah.
You, with a chain or a strap, you can capture your suspension and you can lift off center a lot easier than you can with a bottle jack. You can also get a lot more travel out of the jack itself than a bottle jack.
Yep.
But if you're overlanding and you're really just going to need to maybe change a tire on a flat dirt road, the bottle jack's 100% the way to go. I think the bigger factor than what jack to use is make sure it's tall enough to lift your vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've seen that plenty of times.
I recently got a set of recovery boards and the bottle jack from Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
And it's the 12 ton and it's got, I think it's 8 inches of throw. Yeah. So, I mean, that's enough to get a tire off the ground and do a bunch of work. You can, and then at that point, you can take
the axle.
You could take the tire. Then that's the point is I put it under the control arm. Then you take the tire off, you chalk the body, then you can decompress the suspension if you have to work on suspension.
Right.
So that's the way I'm thinking about it, opposed to having to capture the suspension to raise the vehicle.
Well, if you're working
to raise the tire.
Yeah, there's...
It's all situational.
Again, it comes down to what you're going to use it for. I think, personally, my rock crawler, my trailer queen rock crawler will probably have a high lift in it, but the JK shop truck won't.
Yeah, bottle jack all the way.
Yeah.
Just probably the scissor jack that's still in there from...
I mean, if it's still in there, it's Tom Walk's Jeep, so... Who knows what's actually in there?
Crap in there.
But yeah, that's the quick down dirty answer on high lifts. I don't like them. I've dropped too many vehicles off of them.
Yeah, I think
I have unfortunately, I don't know if this bodes well for the fire department I come from. I have fire department training with high lift jacks.
Yeah.
And I still don't like them.
Yeah, I
something can still be functional and still be dangerous.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say I don't like them, but I have a healthy fear and respect for them, which again comes from the fire department training of this will seriously hurt you if you don't do this right.
But also, using it can bring so much benefit if you use it correctly.
Correct.
And it is really the 60-in-1 multi-tool. You can pull with it, you can compress with it, you can do everything with it.
I mean,
I think a lot of people use them in the wrong situation. Like I've seen people using them like on pavement to lift stuff, and it's just like,
well, if that's all you have, then it's what you have to use.
You can, but then it's also, okay, make sure it's set up properly. A lot of people don't pay attention to when it starts leaning, and that's when you have stuff falling off.
Well, that's like, the learning curve that goes with it.
Yeah, it's just they have their place, and it's not necessarily everywhere.
Yeah, agreed.
The next one, I'll read it out loud because it's a good question. But Chris Cranston, from the forum, he said, "Unlimited money. What are you building? Essentially, dream rig."
Oh, God.
This is a whole episode.
We've done this.
I would say it's like episode 5 where I rant about a Rivian for an hour,
and now you no longer want one.
I didn't even go that far.
And we're actually going to get into it later today on an episode that we're going to do. We're going to do an episode. I haven't come up with the title yet, but it's the family rigs. So we're looking at building family overlanders because I'm eventually going to grow my family, and you're going to...
we?
You were talking about a Porsche.
No, that was a daily driver.
That was an ADD fueled obsession for like 36 hours.
So that was an idea that I had for later today. Is we're going to get into an episode about building a family style overlander. So unlimited money. I'm going to say a race car. Let's break it down. Race car, overlander, or rock crawler. What are you doing? I'm saying race car.
Yeah, I'd probably go race car.
Trevor. And my race car is not what you think it is. You know what my race car is.
Your Camaro?
No, it's an off-road race car. So we're off-roading. Unlimited money.
Are you building your XJ?
No.
Thank God.
What? So
Miller Motorsports chassis?
Trevor?
I'd have to say race car strictly from a budget perspective because the other two.
I was going to say, yeah.
The other two limit at like $150,000.
Well,
but it's not even a limit thing. It's just that like
if you spend
with the rock crawlers and the overlanders, like you can go finance a regular Wrangler and it's an overlander already. Right. Like you can drive that down dirt roads ready to go. Race cars are very specific and they have to be built out if you want them to perform the way you want them to. So that it's got to be race car because unlimited budget.
The way I look at it is if it's like a one-time unlimited budget thing, like you said, I can build a decent overlander for $5,000.
Yeah,
I can't build any race car for $5,000. Well, you can't even. As we learned, you can't touch the shock package for a 4400 car for $5,000.
Yeah, it's
the bypass shocks are $3,000 a piece.
Yeah,
and that's just king. Like we haven't even gotten into any of the like custom built ADS or any of the other crazy stuff. But anyway,
definitely got to be race car.
Now we'll jump over to YouTube. That was good. Thank you, Facebook. That was 3 good questions. I guess 2 good questions because how big am I for 35?
Abe's doesn't count.
Thank you, Abe. We actually
thanks for participating, Abe. But shitty question.
A lot of these. I'm so bad with names. Your customer with the skinny guy camper. I asked you
Calvin.
Calvin.
No, what's his other name?
It's Kevin. It's Kevin.
No, what's his other name?
Oh, Matthias. Yeah. Hey, what's up, AK? That's a very inside story. That's so far inside, it's like in the bunker.
So he's commented a few times on YouTube. Lay off the Ford, Tom. Tom doesn't like Fords. I also don't like Fords.
Here's the thing.
Get into it, Tom. Why do you like Fords?
I will.
How long do you want to be here?
I also don't like Fords.
Here, you have a 2-minute timeline.
Yeah, that's fine. I am the first person to say all brands have their problems. I don't like Fords.
I'd never own a GM.
I don't like Fords for the sheer fact that they have the dumbest problems and they make them difficult to fix. Like, I drive one of the most problematic GM Duramax trucks.
Hell yeah, brother.
The LB7 is known for being just a problem.
That's beautiful.
But it's the same problem every time.
Day.
Right, but it is the problem. The injectors are the problem. The 6.0, it was like, man, we made a really good engine that's gonna blow up eventually, but if you spend $10,000, it may or may not blow up, and if it doesn't blow up, it'll last forever. And because we
until you need to spend that money again in like 150,000 miles,
and then they were like, since it's really not that good, we'll make something worse to make it seem better, i.e. the 6.4. And then we settled on the 6.7, which also has a host of its own problems, and like it's just it doesn't make any sense. If an LB7 has a problem, and I know this is very specific to diesel trucks, when my truck has a problem, I know what the problem is, and it's
injectors. That's it.
It's injectors, or it's the dashboard light bulbs. Like, it's just things that like don't matter, I guess, is the best way to look at it, where like Fords just explode.
Well, yeah, what did we look up the other day?
Oh no, you lifted ahead on your 6-liter.
Yeah.
They had a recall a week for a year.
Right.
Like
I'm just saying, like,
Broncos were snapping CV axles driving down the road.
Oh, did you see the latest? The Ford came out with the factory tie rod upgrade for $10,000.
Yep.
What?
Yep. Yeah, it's a package now. It's an upgrade, an off-road upgrade package for the Bronco. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, $10,000.
Bronkbuster.
Yeah, or
Bronkbuster did it first.
Or for $400.
I would say for $400 you can get literally any of the 5 other tie rods available aftermarket now from Apex Chassis, Rock Crawler, Bronkbuster.
And the Bronkbuster ones you can do at home in about 15 minutes with a screwdriver.
And you don't need to do an alignment.
Correct.
Shout out Bronkbuster.
It doesn't cost $10,000.
Correct.
What are the other ones? There was somebody else.
JKS.
Oh, the JKS are the other cheap ones.
The only downside to
you
that
have to
one
take everything apart.
Yeah, but it's only like $85 for the
And then he asked a question a while ago. It was a month ago, so not that long ago. None of us are veterans. Surprisingly, we've got a group of a bunch of dudes. We're probably 12 all in all if you want to count all of the like the
yeah.
The,
I mean, we have
the OG
family.
guys.
Your dad's
we have
Coast Guard.
family.
Well, no,
I guess Buddy was like an OG dirt.
Yeah, but Buddy's a vet. The Tom's old neighbor Mike was a vet, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Before he rolled his Jeep and didn't buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he asked that question a month ago, and it's just kind of been sitting in limbo. And I'm like, I thought about it. I'm like, that's actually very surprising.
Yeah,
that none of us are
My
vets.
father-in-law's an asshole. Air Force vet.
Greg.
My father-in-law
Time
was
for more coffee.
Navy. Grandfather was Army.
Yeah.
Dad was Air Force.
So we all take advantage of Neighbor Federal Credit Union.
Not anymore. I don't.
I do. Yeah. My car's a finance.
I absolutely do.
Yeah. Let's go.
Credit card, debit card, car
I think
loan.
Carrie still has a savings account just so we're like still in the system if we want it. But
you should. I mean, it's.
We dumped USAA though.
Well, USAA
Pound
sucks.
Sand, yeah. What else we got?
Over to I guess I should look at. I haven't looked at Apple Podcasts in a while, but this is from Spotify. Black Flag guys, Black Flag Media.
Yeah,
they sent us a shout out for last week. They said, "Hey, thanks for the shout out. We enjoyed the event, and we didn't see them at lineup at the end or that night because they left at 8:00 because they had to be at work the next day. So they did the first 12 hours.
First half, okay.
And then we lost them.
Well thanks for listening.
We saw them at the finish line, and they saw the side-by-side guys come in, and that's when they were like, all right, we gotta go. And then like nobody even knew they left. We like turned around, we're like, where'd they go?
This is a good one. I love this one. When I got this message a few weeks ago, this was on
you gonna read this one out loud?
Yeah,
too?
I am.
Okay.
Jeep Jail, the last Wrangler, episode 89. This guy comments, Bluebell 0416 on Spotify. Love y'all, but the amount that you guys are wrong about new vehicles cracks me up.
Ooh, interesting.
I think we are wrong because I mean that was a very speculative episode, and he may have an inside view on the industry.
Did he specify?
He did not specify. So Bluebell.
I would love to know what he thinks we're wrong about. I'd love to have.
Because we had like three sides to that argument.
Yeah, Tim thinks everything's going to be independent front suspension.
So Tim is definitely wrong.
You're also the one that thinks the Wrangler is going to die. That is specifically a you thing. That is not a Dirt Nerds thing. That is you being an idiot.
I think the Wrangler is going to die. You also said you thought the Wrangler was going to die before it went full EV.
No. He said he would rather see it die.
I would rather be killed than go full EV.
Yeah.
I also don't think we're going to see full EV. I hope you listen to this episode, Bluebell 80 whatever it was.
0416 on Spotify.
I was close. Please listen. If you're local, I would love to have you on the podcast and have this conversation. Mm-hmm.
Prove us wrong.
Yeah, I love learning. I like being told I'm wrong, even if I disagree.
It's my favorite thing. Like,
may not be wrong.
If I'm being
we tell
told,
you all the time.
No, but that's being educated. So if I'm being told I'm wrong and you prove that I'm wrong, I love that. Yeah, because that means I'm learning.
Yeah, I would just I personally, I do follow a lot of this stuff and pay pretty close attention to what's going on. I have no factual basis for 90% of my beliefs and my speculations, and they are 100% speculation, and I admit that fully. However, 5 years ago, I was the one going, EV is not going to work. They're going to throw this legislation out, and now all these states that put the legislation in place are voting to repeal it. Like, there's just no possible way for it to physically work.
I'd be interested to see what your connect from Fiat or
from Jeep.
I'd be curious to see his thoughts and.
Yeah, they haven't. Last time I talked to Kerry about it, he hadn't moved yet. I don't know if he's listening full time or not yet. But Chris, if you're listening, if we do, when you get down to Maryland, we
love to have you on.
We'd love to have you on and get some of that insider knowledge. But yeah, it's I'm very curious what he thinks we got wrong and. So
if you're listening, please respond because it's
shoot us a message. Shoot him a message on Instagram. Or you can
just tell him he's wrong directly.
You can email him at Tim TIM@DirtNerdsOffroad.com.
So and the
DirtNerdsOffroad.com.
So we're gonna get into the Instagram comments on a later episode because I don't need to want to load this whole thing up. But the other,
I thought that was the whole point of this segment.
That is the whole point.
You're fucking it up, Tim.
That's fine. I'm not good at this.
Wrong.
You're wrong.
The other few good comments that we got on Spotify were GPX, not GPX, but
Like
waypoints.
Okay.
So hey, this is a cool spot. You guys need to record here. So I've got a bunch loaded in my Gaia.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good summer.
And that's a good good bit.
Yeah.
If you have a cool location that you think we should record from, we've recorded on site on the trail probably 3 or 4 times so far.
More than that, if you count like in camp.
That's fair.
We did like 3 episodes with Sean in one trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, send us cool places, and we'll go record in cool places and explore where you want us to see.
God, I'm really curious. I hope this guy responds.
I hope he does too.
Like Tuesday night.
It's bugging me now.
It's gonna bug me.
Yeah. Because he said often too, like clearly, because we've talked many times about different vehicles and what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah,
so.
the amount that you guys are wrong about new vehicles cracks me up. Ha 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 ha.
But what?
I don't know. We don't talk about new vehicles that often.
Don't.
So that's either a troll comment, and he's just...
I don't think it's a troll. I think that we are wrong about new vehicles often, but I think that we're wrong with speculation. Like, I speculate a lot without having anything to back up my knowledge.
What was
like if we're talking about a car that's not out yet,
you literally you came in the shop and were like, the Wrangler's dead. It's going to be independent front and rear suspension by 2025, and we were like,
we read the first paragraph of the article. We went, what the fuck is he talking about?
I'm like, where did you read that? He's like, it's on Motor Trend. You sent me the article and it says nothing about independent front and rear suspension.
I can't read.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this. So,
this is gonna bug me now.
It really is.
We make a point of trying not to speculate on the show because we get into. I
mean, that's what a especially
with stuff that's not out yet.
It's either experience or speculation is all we do. All you can talk about.
Right. And
we don't have a lot of experience, so we speculate a lot.
See, that's where I disagree. I think we have a lot of experience, which allows us to somewhat accurately speculate.
Collectively, we've been around the automotive industry for decades.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
I mean, not just collectively, individually. I've been doing this for 20 years now. Like, it's weird to think, but like I just had this conversation yesterday with a customer. Like,
I'm 20 years.
I started working on, like, I was in Votech picking up wrenches, working on cars when I was 14.
Yeah.
It is 20 years ago.
Yeah,
and
I started turning
hurts my brain to think.
Started turning my first wrench at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got 50 years between the 3 of us.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's, God damn it.
Yeah.
But if you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns, shoot us a message, shoot us an email. Anywhere, I mean, we'll find it. If it's on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
And if, in all seriousness, if you think we are like way off on something, whether it's speculation or facts, like I love learning new shit. So tell us what you think we're wrong.
Yeah.
And we'll either tell you you're wrong and why, or we'll learn something. And either way, somebody's learning something. So,
but you have to specify.
Yeah.
You can't just say you're wrong.
Yeah, come on, Bluebell.
This isn't politics.
Yeah. But cool. Thank you guys for listening this week. To anybody who's new, thank you for being here. Please stick around. We're getting better every week. We're having fun. We're going to have a bunch of cool new guests in the future. A bunch of returning guests. We're going to go on a bunch of cool trips.
Yep.
Just a lot to come and a lot to do. On that note, we're not going to sing to you this week, so no songs for you guys this week.
Boo.
Boo.
I like. Yeah, no, never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Not gonna keep going?
No.
All right. Love you guys. We will talk to you next week.